Welcome to Techstars Demo Day 2019. We will be starting our program in 10 minutes. Please find your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting our program in 5 minutes. Please find your seats.
Welcome to the 2019 Sustainability Accelerator Demo Day. Recent advancements in technology have brought new markets to bear, have disrupted existing ones, and have revolutionized the way companies deliver products and services around the world. Think for a minute about the impact that ride-sharing has had on transportation, or that streaming services has had on entertainment, or that automation has had on manufacturing, or online shopping on the retail industry. All around us, every day, we are witnessing the power of disruptive technology. Unfortunately, though, the sustainability movement has yet to leverage this power to scale solutions. But what if? What if the greatest minds of our generation were building technology to help solve the biggest challenges facing humanity? What would that mean for the planet? What would that mean for climate change? What would it mean for pollution or for biodiversity loss? And what would it mean for the billions of people who still lack access to sufficient nutrition, clean water, and electricity? That question is why the Nature Conservancy launched this partnership with Techstars. It's what this accelerator, and really it's what tonight is about. It's about demonstrating what happens when some of the world's best problem solvers build technology solutions to help us create a sustainable future we know is possible.
And in this accelerator program, we look for companies where there's an intrinsic link between the business model and the impact model. As the business grows, so does the impact. Earlier this year, Zoe Schlag, the managing director of our impact program in Austin, did an interesting analysis across the Techstars portfolio to see how impact companies compared. And what she discovered was kind of interesting. She found out that companies like the ones you're about to see tonight outperformed the overall Techstars portfolio. And this makes sense to us because big problems represent big opportunities. And companies on a mission can attract top talent, capital, and can have better relationships with their customers. And we're seeing this already with this class. Since joining Techstars, these 10 companies have raised over $2.6 million in funding, have received over $400,000 in grants, and have made over $1 million in revenue.
And all that hard work led us to tonight. We want tonight to be rooted in hope, urgency, and action. We have hope because of the amazing founders that you're going to meet tonight. They are dedicating their lives to solving these big issues. We have a sense of urgency because it's not that there is an impending environmental crisis. That crisis is today. And we act, all of us in this room. Because action is the antidote to despair. It is action that will take us from the path we are on today to a path for a thriving planet for people and nature. The 10 companies you're about to meet have worked so hard these last 3 months, and we're really grateful that you came out on this cold October Colorado evening to celebrate them. And we're so excited to have them part of our Techstars network. So with that, let's get started.
Let's do it. Thanks, everybody.
When I meet with people, they often ask me, what is it that makes Techstars so special? Is it our founders, our mentors, our corporate partners, our community leaders, all of the above? It's about the power of networks, but not just any network. Techstars is the worldwide network that helps entrepreneurs succeed. Demo Day is special because it's a milestone, a symbolic step in the entrepreneur's journey, a time to reflect on growth, to share visions for the road ahead. We're here because we believe helping entrepreneurs leads to a better future. So for every step of the journey, the Techstars Network is here to support you. Whether attending a Techstars community event, joining a Techstars mentorship-driven accelerator, or becoming a Techstars corporate innovation partner, or raising capital from the Techstars Network, we help entrepreneurs make connections and access resources. From idea to IPO. Who's next?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome again. It is absolutely a pleasure to see so many of you turn out tonight. My name is Ivan Lopez. I'm the General Manager for the Accelerator programs for Techstars in the Western region. This program is incredibly near and dear to me. The opportunity to work with entrepreneurs that actually will have true impact on the world that we live in, that will make the world a better place for our children and for everyone that is here tonight, is something that you cannot measure. It's something that touches every one of us heart and soul, and it actually paves the way for a better world. Techstars is the worldwide network that helps entrepreneurs succeed. We believe, heart and soul, that entrepreneurs will make a better world, and you will find demonstrative evidence of that tonight in these 10 companies. And it's a journey that it takes to get there. If you're a mentor to this program, raise your hand. Look right and left of you. See those mentors. Applaud those mentors. It is the beautiful direction, guidance, being critical, being honest with these companies that has helped those companies find their way where they will be as they go through their path in the future. And it does not end just there. These companies are now becoming part of something larger. A market capitalization of exceeding $23 billion, more than 50 programs worldwide, and by the end of this year, 2,000 companies will be in our portfolio. Those numbers are all entrepreneurs who seek to change the world. And again, these companies, and the best part of my job is I get to welcome these companies to that network. This partnership with the Nature Conservancy is unique, it's special, and it's something that I wish to thank you for trusting us in helping you pave the way to the future. Thank you. I'm usually not these serious at these things, but it's really something that you stand up here and you think about the things we're doing, and it's amazing. I don't want to sit here and talk any further aside from expressing our gratitude as Techstars for the global network partners who, without their support, these companies as well as these programs would not be possible. And with that, I'd like to step off the stage and ask you to applaud with all of your energy, wake up the room for the companies that will be coming up. Thank you.
We're honored to introduce Rochelle Young, CEO of Mammoth Water.
Rich is a family rancher. He pumps groundwater for his livestock. He has a limit on how much he can pump, called an allocation. And if he goes over, he'll owe crippling fines to the state. Rich doesn't want to go over his allocation. Like most farmers and ranchers, he knows groundwater is key to his livelihood, a livelihood he plans to pass down to his children and grandchildren. I know this because Rich is my father. My name is Rochelle Young, CEO of Mammoth Water. Please welcome Rich Young, my dad, who's here with us at Demo Day. For as hard as my dad tries, he struggles to keep track of his water use. Water rights accounting is hard. Making manual calculations in notebooks and spreadsheets, no easy task. He's not alone in this problem. Tens of thousands of farmers and ranchers have no easy way to monitor their water use or their efficiency. That's a huge problem because agriculture accounts for 70% of our global water use. And we're overdrawing from this precious resource. Our rivers and wells are running dry. Aquifers that took millennia for nature to build are being drained in our generation. You might think the solution to the water crisis is to cut off agriculture. But agricultural water is important. It grows the food we eat and the clothes we wear. This isn't just my dad's livelihood that's at stake. It is all of our livelihoods. At Mammoth Water, we're building the smarter, simpler way to track and trade water. And we're starting with the folks who are at greatest risk and can help us make the biggest dent, our farmers and ranchers. With Mammoth Water's mobile app and SaaS platform called TapH2O, farmers simply open an app on their phones, snap a photo of their meters, and we automate the rest. We generate reports showing them how much groundwater they've used and how much of their allocations they have left. We send them alerts if they're nearing an overage with options to buy extra water they need on our trading platform. And instead of farmers guessing how efficient they are, TapH2O shows them, calculating how their water use compares to their peers. Peer benchmarking is a catalyst to behavior change. It's proven in the utility industry, and we're seeing it on our platform. We're leveraging peer insights to help farmers save water and money. TapH2O is the only solution that automatically files regulatory compliance documentation and required pumping data. Just like none of you like filing your annual taxes with the IRS, no farmer likes filing annual water use reports with the state. We eliminate this hassle for them. We do all of this with any meter, anytime, all with the tap of a button. TapH2O is built for farmers and approved by regulators. Regulators value TapH2O so much that they buy it for their farmers who are able to engage with their data, conserve water, and self-report pumping in a way that saves regulators time and money. For these benefits, they pay $50 per meter per year, which is 15 times less than the next cheapest alternative. We launched in January and currently have 60,000 irrigated acres of farmland under management. In the last 3 months of Techstars, we're on track to 20x our subscriptions to 1.2 million irrigated acres. We're excited too, and there's a lot more work to be done. In the United States alone, there are 55 million irrigated acres of farmland, representing $200 billion worth of agricultural water assets that are increasingly under threat as a result of new regulations and a changing climate. A threat to agriculture is a threat to us all. But our data can help. It is helping regulatory agencies better manage our groundwater. It is helping environmental organizations, including the Nature Conservancy, to document and scale best practices in conservation. And soon, we'll help food and beverage companies track water use and water risk in their supply chains. Our team is composed of agricultural economists and hydrologists with the technical know-how, coupled with decades of experience in ag water management. We've received funding from the US Department of Agriculture and the National Science Foundation, and we've presented our work at the White House, Stockholm World Water Week, the World Bank, and Imagine H2O. Thank you from all of us at Mammoth Water. If you'd like to learn more, come chat with us after. Together, we can drive the smarter, simpler way to track and trade water.
Throughout time, farmers have had the difficult task of growing enough food to feed a rapidly growing population. It's estimated we'll have another billion people to feed by 2030. As this demand for food continues to grow, our lands are stretched to their limits. Erosion, tillage, and overgrazing degrade the productivity of farms and rangelands. Agriculture expansion threatens native habitats, and climate change increases extreme events that threaten crop yields. It's clear we must find solutions that not only increase food production, but also sustain the health of our communities, our land, and our water. Entire ecosystems are at stake, and one critical solution lies right under our feet. Healthy soil is nutrient-rich, holds more water, and supports crop productivity. It is a natural solution to remove carbon from the atmosphere and store it in the ground. With farming and ranching occurring on roughly 40% of land around the world, what if our agriculture systems built the health of our soils instead of degrading them? If we focus on improving and revitalizing soil health, we can leverage the natural biodiversity to improve and sustain farmland's vigor and productivity, while maximizing the soil's potential to sequester carbon and support resilient and profitable growing conditions for farmers. With a change in mindset, there's a global opportunity to support more innovation in soil health. With broad access to better practices and financial incentives, farmers can and will lead the way to a more sustainable future.
Joining us from Seattle, Washington, please welcome Paul Gamble, CEO of Nori.
Climate change is solvable. And that's because this is a straightforward engineering problem. There are too many greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. And the solution is to pull those gases back out and store them safely in the earth. And the good news is we already have the tools and technologies that we need to draw carbon out of the air. Regenerative agriculture, forestry, seaweed, direct air capture, even construction materials can all remove carbon dioxide. The challenge is that these need to scale up massively and rapidly. Now, carbon offsetting is already a $200 billion market today, but that market is almost entirely devoid of carbon removal. The difference is carbon offsets are about avoiding future emissions, and carbon removal is about removing past emissions that are already up in the air. And as governments and corporations begin to react more aggressively to climate change, this new carbon removal market is going to mature to over $1 trillion. It is time to add carbon removal to the mix. Nori's marketplace platform incentivizes people to remove carbon dioxide from the air. Now, the first method of carbon removal that we're supporting is regenerative agriculture. These are practices like no-till planting, cover cropping, and crop rotations. These practices can rebuild the health and quality of soil while also pulling carbon out of the air. Now, soils all around the world are degrading because of heavy tillage and commercial fertilizer use. And farmers know that they need to turn that soil on the left back into the soil on the right, or they won't be able to grow food in 50 years. This is the perfect method for Nori to start with because the food industry needs to restore soil health and increase crop yields to feed a growing population. Storing carbon in soils is highly scalable and offers an incredible 2-for-1 opportunity that only comes along once in a lifetime. And Big Ag recognizes this opportunity. General Mills, Cargill, and Danone have all made multi-million-dollar commitments to transition to regenerative agriculture. Nori's platform adds incentives and empowers them to scale this much faster to meet the size of this challenge. Now, we've been working with farmers for over a year to develop our product, and Trey Hill of Harborview Farms in Maryland is running our first carbon removal project. And I am very excited to tell you that Nori launched his platform for the first time earlier this month. And in that time, we have sold carbon removals to more than 280 organizations and individuals all around the world. Here's how our market works. First, farmers adopt the practices that pull carbon out of the air and provide operating data to us. That data has to be verified by an independent third party, and then we use the data to quantify how much carbon they're pulling out and issue removals to the farmer. The farmer can then sell those removals to buyers through our platform, and we charge the buyers a transaction fee, and that's how we make money. We make it incredibly simple for anyone to pay for removing their emissions. Whether you're negating your individual, family's, or business's footprint, we've taken the guesswork out of figuring out how much CO2 to remove. When you buy carbon removals through Nori, you're issued a certificate of carbon removal that we store on the blockchain for transparency and security. And we make it easy to share this out for sustainability reporting. For farmers, we offer easy insights into projecting how much they're going to earn. Farmers can enter their projected price and expected costs and use that to calculate what their return might be by participating in the Nori market. And we have an incredible team who have decades of experience in both carbon markets and deploying large-scale technology products. Our director of carbon economics was at one point the world's largest buyer of carbon offsets. And our product director was the design lead at Gmail and Android for over 12 years. Now, we started this company out of a passion for reversing climate change. And 7 million people who share that passion joined the climate strike last month. How many of you walked out with your children this year? I know that you're looking for solutions to climate change. So join our early adopters and be a part of this solution. Pull out your phones right now and go to nori.com. I'll wait. Pay for removing your emissions from the last month, because that's how this starts. That's how we get the movement to reverse climate change underway. We will solve this together. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Valentina and I am 8 years old, and this is my grandpa. Nature matters to me because
being outdoors expands the soul.
I love the trees and the fruit.
I love to ski because it's super fun to ski, and I race my mom down the slopes a lot.
Lately, I'm seeing more storms. They're more severe. The flooding that goes on, fires, and I'm just worried about all the severe events that are happening in the world.
I was very worried about the Amazon forest burning, California fires burning, the hurricanes along the coast.
My hopes are that everything will go back to normal, but not past normal. Like, don't want to start an ice age again.
We can clean up the environment if we work at it and show some discipline and put some resources into it.
Stop burning fossil fuels and stop cutting trees down and stop throwing trash in the ocean.
When Ingram grows up, that there's still nature and beauty for him to see, and that future generations get to enjoy the planet as much as I have.
Up next, we have Ivan Lalovich, CEO of Jibe.
This is toxic algae. It's also one of the most resilient prehistoric bacteria, which thrives in nutrient-rich water. It's difficult to tell by eye whether the algae is toxic or benign. The spread of toxic algae is becoming a major global problem. Increasing health issues were seen this summer from the UK to the coast of Florida and the waterways of Florida. On the coast of Norway, 8 million salmon in farmed aquaculture were lost. And toxic algae is right here in Colorado in local reservoirs. And if this makes it into our drinking water, it will make us all sick. The problems with the water we drink, the food we eat, and the places we live are getting worse. My name is Ivan Lalovich. I'm the CEO of Jibe, and Jibe is building the first scalable measurement platform for water quality that also tracks pollution. And we're doing this at real time, at low cost, and on a massive scale. The root of the problem is runoff from cities and agriculture, which creates algae blooms, excess nutrients, and sediments. Because of toxic algae, the city of Salem in Oregon, one of Jibe's customers, is spending $80 million this year to ensure that clean drinking water makes it to the community. Just like many of our prospects, they use expensive equipment, send teams on boats to collect water samples for lab analysis. The next time you have a drink of water, you should be thankful there are teams of water managers making critical decisions daily to protect your water. Our customers need a short response time, more data at low cost. They need more information, and they're spending annually $3.5 billion on measurement equipment alone. Much of the drinking water for the Silicon Valley comes from the San Luis Reservoir. Water is pumped through the South Bay Aqueduct before it's treated, and it takes less than 24 hours for a toxic algae bloom to form and threaten more than 1 million residents in the Santa Clara Valley, one of the economic centers of the world. It's critical that the right decisions are made with the correct information on time. Let me show you how our technology works. We use imagery from low-orbit satellites, which collect data every 4 to 5 days. We install our patented sensors above the surface of the water. They provide data continuously. It's kind of like a webcam for water, but provides better performance than water samples or lab analysis. Our sensors provide information about critical water quality parameters throughout the day. We combine that with the available satellite imagery and proprietary algorithms to provide a real-time view. So for the first time, our customers can see and quantify the concentration of toxic algae and visualize how it moves. In the example of the San Luis Reservoir on the map, only the blue areas are clean water. This process is fully automated with a web interface to the data and instant alerting when problems occur. And our approach is scalable. We measure more than just toxic algae. We measure some of the other pollution issues like nutrients and sediments. And we can apply this to large sensitive ecosystems like the San Francisco Bay or even larger coastal areas. Our customers, instead of waiting for days to get sparse data, get the view of the entire watershed, so that the focus of water management can be on decisions and not observations. Jibe is a data company. We charge our customers a subscription fee for the information that we provide, while Jibe continues to own both the sensors and the high-value data. Our customers can choose different pricing levels based on the performance and the number of sensors that are installed, which drives both the precision of the data they get and the availability of the alerts. Jibe has been customer funded since day one, and we're working very closely with our first customers like the City of Salem to develop new features, and they're providing very valuable referrals to other utilities and customers in the Pacific Northwest. Since starting Jibe just a few months ago, we've made fantastic progress. We feel that our first pilots in July had first revenue in September, and just last week, we completed full product installations for our second and third paying customers with 1 to 2 year commitments. And in parallel, we're negotiating terms with 6 new customers, totaling a sales pipeline value of $1.8 million, including a pilot with one of the largest mining companies in the world. And we have yet to hire a sales team. We're also very pleased to announce a new pilot with the Nature Conservancy advancing conservation science in the Mississippi Delta, a key contributor to the total pollution that's pouring into the Gulf of Mexico, the largest ocean dead zone. Our team has unique experience in this field. We've spent the last 20 years developing sensors, measurement technologies, and making electronics smaller and more capable for some of the most innovative companies. Nick, Omar, and I have a unique set of experiences in the optics field and have 35 US patents issued, numerous publications, and product awards. Our products enable better decisions by those who protect the water we drink, the food we eat, and the places we live and do business. Join us on our mission to bring the same technology innovation to the management of water and the environment. Thank you.
Fresh water. It's one of our planet's most precious resources, a fundamental need that so many of us take for granted. It is essential for nature and people. We need clean, reliable water to drink, grow food, generate energy, and sustain our natural environment. It supports communities and underpins food production and local economies. But as the global population soars, demands for food, energy, and shelter are putting unprecedented pressure on our planet, and water is at the heart of this crisis. Less than 1% of the planet's water is fresh water that we can access, and agriculture accounts for about 70% of global water use. Half of all people rely on water sources that are being used up faster than they can be replenished. Hundreds of millions of farmers are suffering from devastating droughts, and an increasing number of cities are running out of water. Around the world, the water security of far too many people is in jeopardy. We have to get smarter about how we use this precious resource. We must find innovative ways to value water, invest in the systems that allow us to carefully manage it, and allocate it to the most important and productive uses. Protect the health of the watersheds from which we draw it, and more efficiently grow an abundant supply of food. We must scale our solutions with urgency, because we can't have food security and healthy communities without water security.
It's our pleasure to introduce Chris Peacock, CEO of Aqua Oso.
All right. During California's recent 7-year drought, California farmers lost $2 billion. In this new reality of overallocated groundwater supplies, degrading water quality, and extreme weather events, it's going to cost $492 billion around the world across our food supply system. We live in a new reality where water risk is business risk. Farmers are already facing the impacts of this new reality. And financial institutions, the banks that these farmers rely on for loans, are starting to realize that water risk is financial risk. But water is really hard to understand. So last year, banks started asking us if we could help them understand the impacts of water risk across their agricultural lending operations. My name is Chris Peacock, and I'm the CEO of Aqua Oso Technologies. We've built the world's first water risk management software as a service. We're like a credit score for water, making it easy to understand water risk. Rather than relying on old, outdated reports or fragmented data sets, our customers can instantly research land and water assets in an easy-to-use online platform, giving them access to information and insights they've never had available before now. Our banking customers are saving 85% of the time it used to take them to gather information. And they're closing loans in just half the time that it used to, getting money into their borrowers' hands faster than ever before. Prior to Aqua Oso, most of our customers couldn't identify water risk across their entire loan portfolio. Some of them may have relied on expensive consultants that would take months to produce a static report. But now, with Aqua Oso, our customers can identify water risk and monitor it in real time across their entire loan portfolio, allowing them the opportunities to identify risk and have the right conversations with the right customers at the right time. Soon, our customers will be able to price water risk directly into their loans. They'll be able to share Aqua Oso's water risk mitigation strategies directly with their customers. And we've partnered with the Nature Conservancy to help these borrowers, our farmers, become even better stewards of our land and water resources. We launched our software platform just over a year ago. And in 12 months, we've quickly grown to $400,000 of annual recurring revenue. Thank you. And our customers love us. They consistently give us a 9 out of 10 customer satisfaction rating. And they're renewing 100% of their contracts with increased licensing agreements. Thank you. I'm also excited to announce here that given our proven ability to identify water risk in California, we're expanding into 5 new states, including Colorado. Thank you. Ultimately, we plan to expand around the globe across multiple industries. Because as we're learning, no matter where you live or what industry you work in, water risk truly is business risk. And as a public benefit corporation that's building a globally scalable, profitable business, we intend to do some serious good along the way. We've already launched free mapping tools to farmers in California. We have a water data assistance program for small, disadvantaged communities. And we're helping them both make better decisions in this new reality. Of course, we couldn't do all of this without our amazing team, who's absolutely obsessed with solving the complex problems of understanding water risk. We have deep water expertise, we have agricultural experience, we have serious technology chops. I've personally spent the last 20 years working in the water sector, and I can attest to the fact that companies who continue to operate their business as usual will increasingly experience water risk as business risk. But with Aquoso, our customers can finally identify the true scale of that risk and understand its impacts, so they can make better decisions for our economies, for our communities, and for our environment. Because as we've been learning, together, we can build a water-resilient future. Thank you.
Climate change is a really serious issue for our generation.
The way we live our lives now is not sustainable.
I hope that my grandchildren know what a polar bear is.
And I hope that ultimately we can just recover.
Making change doesn't have to be as big as it feels.
Technology, I think, is going to be a large part of the solution to climate change.
If we know how our world is changing currently, then it allows us to know how to prepare for that change.
Technology can spread information really fast and really effectively to lots and lots of people about what's going on.
As a movement, as a large group of people in power will eventually listen.
Leaders' decisions can affect so many future generations.
Especially if you're old enough to vote, it's kind of your responsibility to know what's going on so that you can help my generation and the generations younger than me have a future.
Next, we're excited to introduce Allison Quijano, VP of Sustainability at Beck's 360.
Good evening. Raise your hand if you had coffee this morning. Okay. Now raise your hand if you're wearing underwear. Maybe long underwear. Keep your hand in the air if you know the social and environmental impact of these products. I'm Allison Quijano, the Chief Sustainability Officer for Beck's 360. Beck's 360 digitizes supply chains, enabling companies to track the origin, authenticity, and sustainability of their products. Our platform currently tracks products like shea and essential oils for Pacha soap, coffee for Nespresso and Queen City, and cotton for the Kering Group and PVH, the parent companies for Calvin Klein and Gucci. In 2017, we were the first company to trace coffee from origin to retail utilizing the blockchain. You start by scanning a QR code, and our platform takes you on a journey back to the farm using data, photo, and videos. Here's the problem. Ocean freight and open markets allow for companies to source from remote areas of the globe. Yet fraud, contamination, and even human trafficking remain common in their supply chains. As sourcing has shifted, the developing world now accounts for 70% of global carbon emissions. Forests and ecosystems are being destroyed to bring us the things we love: specialty coffee, low-cost chocolate, and fast fashion. The good news is that 95% of consumers in the US want to make sustainable purchases. But consumers don't know what to look for as proof of sustainability. They don't know because companies and brands don't know either. In fact, the average company only knows 7% of what's going on in its supply chains. Bex 360 enables companies to close this gap. We utilize the blockchain, APIs, and integrate with existing ERP systems to provide end-to-end traceability for our customers. We make it easy for companies to manage risk and to prove origin, authenticity, and sustainability. Our customers are companies who want to improve the transparency of their supply chains. They purchase a subscription to our SaaS platform. Bex 360 is the Salesforce for supply chain digitization and proof of sustainability. We layer in economic, environmental, and sustainability data, allowing for you to track impact metrics at every tier of the supply chain. One of our customers, Pacha Soap, uses our system to advance its mission. Our platform digitizes Pacha's supply chain for every lot of shea from organic producers. Pacha began by creating a digital receipt for each producer payment. Date, time, location were added to the producer payment and created an immutable record in the blockchain. The product is currently moving through Pacha's supply chain to its production facility in Nebraska, and supply chain data, along with the sustainability information and producer information, will be displayed, connecting Pacha's customers to its consumers, and ultimately to the organic producers in Africa. Our go-to-market strategy is a land and expand approach. For example, once we begin tracking for one brand, we can expand into other brands who are sourcing through the same supplier. And once we begin tracking one product for one customer, we can expand into multiple products for the same customer. We are on track for $450,000 in revenue for 2019, and we're targeting $1.5 million in 2020 for our revenue, including $1 million in annual recurring revenue for customers who subscribe to our platform. Our average lifetime customer value is over $150,000, and it's currently taking only 5 months to recover our customer acquisition costs. Thanks. Our team is great. Our team is multidisciplinary. I am part of the sustainability team, and we also include a number of engineers. I've personally spent the last 10 years working and living in the developing world, and our company's vision was inspired by our CEO's time tracing conflict-free minerals in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Our product roadmap includes 3 key features. 1, our platform will enable carbon offsets at every tier of the supply chain, giving customers proof of their carbon mitigation. 2, RFID integration will ensure cold chain temperature compliance. And 3, and the most important, as customers use our system to prove sustainability, banks will incentivize these companies by lowering interest rates by 20 to 40 basis points. Lending terms will no longer be based solely on the value of a product. Instead, sustainable finance will provide a reward to customers for reducing their environmental impact. The developing world, which is our world, is being destroyed to provide us with the things we love. By digitizing supply chains, Bex 360 brings the world to your local shopping experience, ensuring that what you are eating and drinking is authentic and was produced ethically and responsibly, the way it should be, the way you always thought it was. That doesn't just make for a better supply chain, it makes for a better world. Thank you.
By 2050, there will be nearly 10 billion people on the planet. Their growing needs for food, water, and energy will tax our world like never before. We're already seeing the impacts of climate change, major biodiversity loss, and water scarcity. And if we don't take action now, global temperatures and sea levels will continue to rise, with more extreme weather, polluted air, forests and grasslands lost to food production, and species disappearing at record rates. But science shows us that there is a path to sustainability. By investing in smart solutions, we can safeguard coastal communities from severe storms, build healthier cities, ensure people can breathe cleaner air, feed the world sustainably, and protect the lands and waters that wildlife needs. By investing in nature, we can make a positive change today and leave a legacy to our children of a sustainable world where people and nature thrive. The actions we take in the next 10 years will determine the path forward for our world. Time is running out. We can and must move faster. The decisions we make in the next decade together will impact our world and shape the world our children will inherit. The world we depend on depends on us.
Please welcome to the stage Sarah Brown, a mentor for our program, alongside TNC Global Board Member Amy Batchelor and TNC's Interim Chief Conservation Officer David Banks.
How's everyone doing? Enjoying demo day? Woo! Great. So many people in the audience tonight know who TNC is, but some of us don't. So David, can you tell us who is the Nature Conservancy?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. The Nature Conservancy, it is inherently a place-based organization that had its origin in doing deals, transactions, to try and save nature. And some of the greatest work is in places like Colorado, and we have a great team here. Carlos Fernandez is doing incredible work in this state, but we're also working in all of the states in the US and in 70 countries around the world. And that DNA of protecting nature and doing deals and innovation in order to do that is still a big part of who we are. We're just doing it on a much more massive scale right now. And it includes things like water funds, where we're protecting source water for places like Nairobi or Quito and working with municipalities on that. And you hear a lot about water tonight. It's critical to our work. And we're also doing things to try and save the ocean. So we've gone from protecting an acre of land in places like Colorado to places that are the size of Germany in the West Indian Ocean, where we're renegotiating the debt of sovereign nations. And we're now scaling that up to protect places the size of India. So it's still the same Nature Conservancy. We're just bigger, better, and more innovative than we were when we started.
Great, thank you. And Amy, you've been a supporter of TNC for almost 3 decades and joined the board in June. You have a lot of opportunities to give first. Why TNC?
If you have global problems, you need a global solution, and TNC is a global organization that can address this at a multi-layered, incredibly sophisticated and complex approach. I just want to say on a personal note, David and I have known each other for more than 20 years. We worked together on some projects in Alaska, which is where I was born and raised, and I think about what you see in a place like Alaska. We work together in Africa on women and girls, which the Nature Conservancy has a much more complex approach to acknowledging that things like educating girls actually really impacts conservation outcomes. So I think this science-based, data-driven, fact-based organization that is massive gives me a lot of optimism. My friend Heather Tallis in the video talks about how we really need to act now. And so I think being in that urgent and important quadrant at the same time is incredibly exciting. It's incredibly exciting to be able to support the work of these incredible entrepreneurs here tonight. And I think the Nature Conservancy is uniquely positioned to address these global issues from a policy perspective, from an innovation perspective, and from a science perspective. So it's very exciting.
Great. And David, where you sit, you oversee all of the global efforts of TNC. Why are you so excited about this partnership?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's hard to wake up these days without being really frustrated with the way the world is, and you fear for our children. And so I try and think about this in terms of what we have to do for this planet. And sometimes you think of conservation is in one silo and technologies in another, and we're often accused of being like that. But it comes together in a way where we're trying to find solutions to save the world, really. And that's what it's about. This is crunch time, and we need to use all the tools we possibly can in order to make a difference for the future. Because the world's going to be fine. It's us we have to worry about.
Great. And Amy, just asking you the same question. Why are you so excited about this partnership?
I think entrepreneurship and innovation are enormous areas for growth and opportunity. And when you listen to the people talk about the work that you're doing, it gives you optimism. And I think we are a fundamentally narrative creating species. And when I think about wanting to be part of a narrative that has optimism and outcome, and you think about that initial slide that talked about urgency and the solution for despair is action, I deeply believe that. And you see that all around you and you feel it in this room. And so I think the story that we're creating together with the Nature Conservancy and with Techstars is a story of problem solving and optimistic solution building. And the Nature Conservancy has had that attitude for more than 40 years. So I think this collaboration is just an incredibly exciting and honor to be any part of it. So thanks to all the entrepreneurs and the mentors and everybody who's doing this work. And it really helps the Nature Conservancy be sure that we're capturing all of that optimistic problem-solving energy that's needed right now.
Great. Well, that's our time. Round of applause for David and Amy. Thank you.
I met Tony about 9 years ago now when we were studying chemistry at the University of Toledo. And pretty early on, he mentioned possibly wanting to start a business someday. But I don't think either of us fully knew what that would mean.
Why is it important that your dad succeed at what he's doing?
That everybody will have clean water. His work improves the quality of water.
That mostly I'm proud of him for spending so much time building teams.
I'm very proud of she because she's trying to save our world by saving the water.
Keep doing the hard work. I love you.
I'm extremely proud of everything that Jeff and Tony have done to build Mobius. The thing that makes me most proud about Jeff isn't what he's doing, but how he's doing it.
I have loved watching Nicole's passion and focus in the vision of Second Nature.
And what I'm most proud of is everything that they are doing to make our Earth a better place.
To be successful and launch a new venture, it must be done with innovation and creativity to fill voids others do not see.
They work day in and day out to create a sustainable business model, a sustainable company. They're hiring women and minorities and making sure that their voices are heard within the company.
Uncle Christian lives in Denver and he does a job to help the earth. I'm very proud of her and her company. I hope she keeps up the great work. Great job, Mika. Love you.
Good luck on your demo day.
I'm so glad that we all made it to demo day. Congrats, everyone.
Please welcome to the stage Tony Bova, CEO of Mobius.
So we've all heard of plastic drinking straws, the usual suspect for society's new favorite villain, plastic waste. They're in our landfills, in our oceans, and in turtles' noses. You may see this and think that the future is garbage, and I do too. But there's another source of plastic waste that many of us have heard of, but few of us talk about, one 10 times as large as plastic straws. This new plastic waste supervillain, flower pots. A tiny black plastic container that's a temporary home for your tulips, your tomatoes, and your trees before they get transplanted into your front yards, farms, and forests. There are over 5 billion plastic flower pots that are single-use, used in the United States alone every year, and the majority of them are landfilled or burned because black plastics are not recyclable. Wouldn't it be great if you could take a potted plant, plant it directly into the ground, and have the container itself biodegrade in the soil, feeding the plant at the same time? My name is Tony Bova. I'm the co-founder and chief beard at Mobius. We're a public benefit corporation from Knoxville, Tennessee, and we create biodegradable plastics for products like flower pots. Best of all, we do this by using organic waste as a raw material rather than petroleum. Our first technology uses a material called lignin. Lignin is a natural product that is made by trees. It is produced as the primary waste stream of the paper industry, where they burn or landfill over 100 million tons of it every year. We take lignin and combine it with some chemistry. We do this in existing equipment that is standard in the plastics industry to allow us to make biodegradable plastic pellets. These pellets can be dropped into the existing equipment, molds, and dyes used by manufacturers to make the plastic products you and I use every day. Our model allows us to use the many different manufacturers that can make our plastic pellets so that we don't need to purchase heavy equipment to run our business, allowing us to have a distributed manufacturing model. Now, we've already started to build supply chains to do just this. We have companies in the US and in Europe able to supply us with lignin, like Ingevity and UPM. Companies like Summit Plastic and M Plastic are ready to buy our biodegradable plastics to make plastic flower pots. And we're happy to announce that we're partnering with Lowe's in the US and Kingfisher in Europe, two big home and garden retailers, to pilot our products for the over 150 million plastic pots that they sell plants in every year. Now, beyond plastic flower pots within agriculture, other single-use plastic opportunities exist. Polymers are used to coat seeds and slow-release fertilizers, or plastic mulch films. These products enable farmers to be more productive, and with our technology, they can at the same time reduce their plastic waste footprint. The plastic flower pot market is over $3 billion, but this is a small part of the $17 billion agricultural plastic and polymer market that includes seed and fertilizer coatings and mulch films. Beyond that, there is a $400 billion market for single-use plastics for us to explore. But we're more than a lignin bioplastics company. We make renewable chemicals and materials using organic waste for the $767 billion specialty chemicals market. At Mobius, our mission is to create a world where there's wonder in waste. Imagine a future where all organic waste, from your banana peels to the waste cooking oil used at your local restaurant, can be used to make the biodegradable trash bags and laundry detergent bottles or cosmetic products and hand soaps of the future. We combine the power of chemistry, biology, and engineering to do just that. Our business model is to work with existing customers who are manufacturers who buy these valuable chemicals and materials today. Literally everything in this room that you see that is not alive probably uses one or more of these products. We are able to create the exact same chemicals, making them from organic waste that we can buy or remove for free. This allows us to continue to build new technologies that allow us to address the 4 primary components that constitute all organic waste, which are fats, sugars, proteins, and lignin. But lignin is not the end of our story. We recently received a $100,000 grant from Kroger, the largest grocery chain in the United States, to create a new technology to turn waste cooking oil from the food industry into new biodegradable and compostable chemicals and materials. Now, you may be listening to all of this and thinking, they're just a bunch of nerdy scientists. And you're not wrong, but we're very rapidly developing a reputation for combining science and entrepreneurship together to solve real problems in this world. This first technology I invented during my PhD. My co-founder Jeff's master's research was literally turning wastewater into renewable chemicals. The rest of our team of scientists, engineers, and advisors are all experts in their fields, and they are helping us build the circular economy of the future. We started this company in 2016 with 2 beards and a pitch deck. Since then, we've bootstrapped to raise over $1.1 million in grants and investment. This year, we produced over 500 pounds of bioplastic using commercial scale equipment, developed our first prototypes, and have built new partners ready to bring our biomaterials to market. Since we started this program at Techstars, we've signed 2 new paid pilots. We have built out a new ecosystem of farmers in the agricultural industry interested in future applications, and we have an offer to license our first technology in Europe. There's over 1 billion tons of organic waste produced every year. There's enough carbon locked in these materials to replace all of the specialty chemicals and materials that we produce every year from petroleum. With our distributed waste refinery model, we can achieve this and be a key part of the circular economy for the future, truly creating a world where there's wonder in waste. I'd like to leave you with a quote from our unofficial mentor and resident waste expert, Oscar the Grouch. Just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called garbage can, not garbage cannot. Thank you.
Everything's a challenge at an early stage company.
Technology startups require both a mastery of your vision and technical expertise, in addition to all of the other core competencies that are part of running a business.
What is this idea? Is this an idea that I can communicate to somebody? Is this an idea that's going to matter to somebody?
Launching a startup can be pretty hard, as you have to develop the idea from scratch. Then you have to make the scientific research to back it up, and then deploy it on the field. So it can be pretty hard, but it's also fun.
When you put together an early stage company, you need a lot of people to help you get it off the ground. First investors are like fertilizer. They are critical to an idea taking hold, to a business building around it, to people being drawn to it, drawing nourishment from it, and to building a business ecosystem around it.
We want to take a quick minute to thank the investors who make this accelerator possible.
Thank you, Soma Capital.
Thank you, Lyda Hill Philanthropies.
Thank you to the Jeremy and Hannah-Laura Grantham Environmental Trust.
Thank you, S2G Ventures and LTW Investments.
Thank you all.
Hailing from Mexico City, we're excited to introduce Marisa Cuevas, CEO of Microterra.
War and water. 2 words that are rarely put together. But what if I told you that the UN forecasts the next world war will be about water? 2 years ago, I was sitting in a conference room just like this when I heard that forecast for the first time. My mind started to see all these pictures of how that would be like. I was shocked. I could not live with that idea. I needed to make a change. And so I started to research about water. What uses the majority? Turns out, agriculture. All food production, vegetables, fish, and meat accounts for 70% of the world's fresh water. To produce all that food, agriculture is also the main water pollutant. It's clear that we need to focus on agricultural wastewater if we want to make an impact. But what is in that polluted wastewater? Well, mainly animal manure and fertilizer runoff. And that fertilizer and animal manure run into our rivers, our lakes, and eventually the ocean, creating huge environmental challenges. Sadly, this is how polluted water looks like. Clear water is now green and disgusting. We all know this is a huge problem. I also saw a great opportunity. And it became clear to me that by solving this, it would not only mean a huge environmental impact by providing clean water to the downstream ecosystems, but also a great business. First, I needed to understand the source of the problem. And that's when I met Pepe. Pepe is a fish farmer from Bajío and grows tilapias. To keep his tilapias healthy, Pepe must replace 30% of the water in the tanks every day. Yes, every day. And remember, that green water goes into our rivers, our lakes, and eventually the ocean. That's why every Pepe counts. He has a different problem, though. High fish feed costs. 70% of Pepe's expenses are for feeding his fish. So the challenge is to keep the contaminated water from leaving the farm. The opportunity is to lower the fish feed costs. Bringing these two ideas together is a winning business opportunity. My name is Marisa, and I'm the CEO and founder of Microterra. By combining hardware and biotechnology, we develop innovative microalgae systems that clean the polluted water on site, eliminate the downstream pollution, and transform animal manure into valuable animal feed. This is how our technology works. In simple terms, it exposes the contaminated water to sunlight. The sunlight stimulates the microalgae to eat the pollutants. After just 4 days, we separate the clean water from the microalgae, and it turns out that microalgae is the perfect protein to be turned into fish feed. And so we do. Thanks. The science existed, but our technology is unique in 3 ways. 1, on-site and modular systems. No transportation or infrastructure is required. 2, we monitor our systems remotely with sensors to reduce operational costs. And 3, we transform waste into a resource, waste into food. In the last 18 months, a group of talented and passionate people joined me to take on this challenge. As a team, we are visionaries. We are limitless. And on top of that, as you can see from our credentials, we're kick-ass scientists. That's the dream team. We went from developing the science in the lab, filing a patent, to deploying a pilot in the field. In only 18 months, we've proven we know how to execute. And we've been capital efficient. We bootstrapped the company through grants and prizes and received financial support from these partner organizations. In the next 18 months, we're going to focus on increasing the efficiency and lowering the cost. Do you know what other technology developed like this? Solar. This is how the last 10 years looked like. And this is exactly how it became to be the big market it is now. And just like solar, we're going to have technology developers and financial mechanisms to scale up. We're not innovating on the business model. We're innovating on the technology. There are 5 fish farms asking to deploy this technology today. But to move our vision to the next level, we need you. We need your support. We're looking for talent, financial resources, and strategic partnerships. We need as many allies as possible. to get ready to address the fish feedstock market in Mexico. But remember, this solution could be deployed worldwide, and that global market is 50 billion. Plus, we know farm fish consumption is expected to double by 2050. Can you imagine how our rivers will look like if we don't solve this now? We're looking for people that can see beyond, because our technology can be adapted to all types of animal manure. One thing is clear, that global market is huge. But it's not only about the market, it's about the impact that we can make. To clean the contaminated water on site, eliminate the downstream pollution, and transform animal manure into valuable animal feed. So here we are, 1,000 people in one room, and this is your chance to be part of the solution. If you felt inspired by this innovative technology, come talk to us, and let us figure out how we can deploy these systems globally to ensure that clean water flows forever into our rivers, our lakes, and our oceans. At Microterra, we see a different future. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Introducing the Techstars Sustainability Accelerator, class of 2030.
We're trying to solve world problems, and they're helping us make companies. The problem that I'm trying to solve this week is to make less trash and to recycle more and to compost more. Styrofoam, we don't need it anymore, and so we're trying to take it away forever.
We are starting by trying to get the Family Leave Act in Colorado.
The problem that I'm solving this week is a problem that is amazing that we really need to fix. And it's trash in the ocean.
We want to help the planet because if we don't do anything in years, this planet can be in danger.
Please welcome to the stage Christian Shearer, CEO of Regen Network.
My name's Christian Shearer. I'm the CEO at Regen Network. And this is a potato. This potato was grown by my neighbor, Wyatt Penfold. The Penfold family's been growing potatoes in Teton Valley, Idaho for generations. If anyone knows how to grow potatoes, it's the Penfolds. And yet, like most American farmers, the Penfold farms are barely making enough money to stay above water. What people don't realize is that Wyatt produces more than potatoes. Wyatt produces clean water. Wyatt sequesters carbon. Wyatt builds biodiversity into his landscapes. These are called ecosystem services, and just like potatoes, they have real-world value. Ecosystem services are those tangible benefits that we all receive from ecological systems, like breathable air and drinkable water. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the world's farmers aren't producing ecosystem services like Wyatt is. And yet we've seen that if there was a way for them to get paid to produce ecosystem services, they would rapidly shift their practices. This is imperative for this planet. Without innovation, existing ecosystem services markets like carbon credits are inaccessible to farmers like Wyatt because the verification requirements are so stringent. They take a lot of time and they cost way too much. It can easily cost a farmer like Wyatt 2 to 3 years worth of profitability just to get verified for carbon credits. And if Wyatt tried to do this on his own, the markets wouldn't trust him. They'll buy his potatoes because a potato is a potato. But how does the market know that his ecosystem services are genuine? Regen Network enables trust by collecting and organizing data, by giving transparency to the science behind the claims, and by brokering deals that ensure accountability for all parties. And we're doing this at a much lower cost than our competition. No backroom deals, no double counting, and no fuzzy claims about what actually happened. Regen Network is building a platform that enables farmers and ranchers just like Wyatt to be able to sell more than their potatoes. We're enabling farmers to monetize their ecosystem services. So how exactly does this work? Farmers log onto our website, they enter their location information, they enter their practice information, and they declare their ecosystem services. And depending on their selections, we issue cryptographically secure digital credits. Those credits are stored on our credit registry and sold through our credit exchange to individuals, to corporations, and to governments that are trying to achieve their climate goals. To ensure that farmers like Wyatt can participate, we're focused on satellite-powered remote sensing verification, which keeps the cost low, coupled with minimal ground truth data. This baseline data and the verification data are then logged onto our native blockchain, which leverages the Cosmos SDK. On the buyer side, corporations log in, they set their preferences and their targets, and Regen Network matches them with a portfolio of credits from farmers around the world, farmers just like Wyatt. This is a market prime for growth. The market for ecosystem services is already valued at $35 billion and growing fast. And it better grow fast because the world needs it. There are 183 countries around the world that have ratified the Paris Climate Accord, set ambitious targets, and are desperate for tools to actually make that happen. There are over 1,200 corporations that have made public announcements about deeply reducing their negative environmental impacts. Corporations like Cargill, United Airlines, Amazon, and Disney. Regen Network is giving governments and corporations an easy way for them to achieve their goals with meaningful impact behind it. With every transaction, our platform appreciates. And with every transaction, the planet regenerates. Thank you. And this is already happening. We're working with a conservation organization in Australia called Odonata, issuing biodiversity credits for the incredible work they're doing on the ground. We're working with the Savory Institute, located right here in Colorado, on over 2 million acres of verified ecological ranch lands. We're working with the Rainforest Foundation to reward indigenous peoples for the protection of the Peruvian Amazon. And we're working with Impact Ag Partners, starting on 64,000 acres in Australia, issuing grazing-backed carbon credits. And I'm excited to announce that in just the last 3 weeks, we aimed to get 100,000 acres on our platform. We put the call out to our networks. We landed 136 farmers and ranchers on over 5.2 million acres of land. This is the second company that my business partner Gregory and I have started. He and I each have over 15 years of ecological agriculture experience and food and beverage industry experience. Our CTO Aaron and Ron have deep software development backgrounds, recently won a hackathon in Berlin, and have helped our company land over $500,000 in development grants. And our science team, led by Dr. Giselle Booman, is making significant progress in using remote sensing to be able to verify carbon in the soil. Wyatt Penfold recently switched to no-till and cover cropping in his farming practices. to build health into his soil, and to make his farming practices more profitable. With Regen Network, he's not just going to bring his potatoes to market. He's going to bring his clean water. He's going to bring his carbon sequestration. And he's going to bring his biodiversity. What we're doing with Wyatt, we could do with every farmer across this planet, and then help them switch to practices that enable a better planet for all of us. We are Regen Network, platform for a thriving planet. Thank you. Thank you.
Why is stormwater runoff a problem? On the one hand, it's just water, right? But in an urban environment, stormwater runoff is a problem because this is not a forest. This is. When we built our cities, we weren't thinking about the impacts of stormwater. We covered our cities with concrete and asphalt. Rain and snowmelt are unable to soak down into a forest floor, no longer absorbed and filtered by plants and soil. Heavy precipitation frequently causes high water flows that contribute to flooding, and instead, the stormwater runs through our communities, growing into a torrent of water, picking up a toxic cocktail of pollutants like oil, litter, metals, bacteria, and pesticides that have all accumulated on the impervious, hard surfaces, then flushes into our rivers, lakes, and oceans. We have an opportunity to install green infrastructure, like rain gardens, green roofs, and trees, which filters stormwater through the soil and cleans it, putting more in the ground and removing toxic pollution, preventing it from reaching our rivers, lakes, and oceans. Using absorbent soils in our cities is not yet the norm, but it's slowly gaining popularity. And here at the Nature Conservancy, we are showing that it can work. We can't return to the forest landscapes that we had before our cities were built. But there's a lot we can do to build greener cities, develop innovative solutions, and to help urban stormwater systems act more like the forest. We can't go back, but we can do what must be done to go forward. Joining us from Santa Cruz, California, please welcome Nicole Beck, CEO of Second Nature.
Poorly managed urban stormwater across the country is increasing flooding and polluting our local waterways. In fact, urban stormwater is the fastest growing source of water pollution. Trillions of dollars of aging infrastructure and climate change are just making things worse. But we can reverse this trajectory if we manage the rain that falls in our cities as a resource instead of a waste product. Green infrastructure is one solution. Puts water back in the ground where it belongs. It filters pollutants. And it cools our cities. Access to green space improves citizen health. I mean, nature just makes people happier, right? But if we're going to make any real progress, we're going to have to implement a whole lot of green and clean solutions all over our cities. The person who can change your community's future is your local stormwater manager. Stormwater managers work for cities and counties struggling to comply with the Clean Water Act. Today, they collect an astronomical amount of data using pen and paper, and they manually enter it into spreadsheets, while we're all carrying around a phone, and our personal data lives in the cloud. But stormwater data that's cost billions of taxpayers' dollars to produce is literally sitting on the shelf. So what does this mean? Well, if you and I were to go find the river where your neighborhood drains, I'm gonna bet we're more likely to find a shopping cart than a fish. My name's Nicole Beck. I'm the CEO and founder of Second Nature. We've created an enterprise cloud platform to empower stormwater managers to better solve stormwater problems. We launched our product in 2017, and today we've digitized 40 stormwater programs on both coasts. Our customers pay an annual license fee, and we've had 100% renewal. We help our customers by taking their data off of the shelf and making it actionable. We use maps because we're not going to solve stormwater problems if we don't know where they are. We use best available spatial data sets to generate opportunity maps to show communities where investments will yield the greatest environmental return. Like, take this dry basin. This is a green infrastructure asset, an investment by this community. And this one cost a few $1 million. Our stormwater manager has to know where this is and how well this asset is working, and if it isn't working, fix it. Our solution makes this data collection simple, yet scientifically credible. We ensure the inspections are objective and repeatable and rapid and easy to learn. We can train an intern in a day. So now our stormwater manager has an order of magnitude better data at 1/4 of the price. We use science-based analytics to transform the data collected into a clean water accounting system. We are building local capacity and unlocking funding mechanisms for communities to make real clean water progress. And with the click of a button, our stormwater manager is now submitting their annual report to their state regulator digitally. No more data dying on the shelf. We validated the market by digitizing city and county stormwater programs to solve their regulatory compliance pain. In March, we began investing in a go-to-market strategy and have expanded our target customers to include several other regulated entities, including the regulators themselves. Conservation nonprofits, like our strategic partner, the Nature Conservancy, community groups, and others all care about the insights our solution is providing. They could all be customers. The Second Nature platform is a green infrastructure asset management system, and today we have over $1.1 billion worth of assets under management. Come on, guys. Our goal by 2021 is 10 million. There we go. And in a decade, we could be managing a total asset value in the trillions. All right. We're positioned to scale our business across the country by leveraging the proven cloud model that has disrupted every industry it has touched. Our team and our cool science are our secret sauce. Gary, Maggie, and I have built our science legacy that is foundational to the Lake Tahoe Clean Water Program. Jason brings a breadth of go-to-market expertise from 2 decades of success in Silicon Valley tech. Brees has led the creation of thousands of acres of urban green space by building map tools for the Trust for Public Land. And Nat, our CTO, he just brings all the brilliance together and builds software our customers love. Awesome. So it turns out we're all part of the problem, and we're all part of the solution. Is this your vision of the future? It's not mine. Second Nature shares this vision. We must work with nature, not against it. So please join us in making our vision a reality. Thank you.
Last but not least, please welcome Ethan Steinberg, CEO of Propagate Ventures.
You probably remember your parents telling you that money doesn't grow on trees. They were wrong. I'm Ethan, the CEO of Propagate Ventures, and we know how to make money grow on trees. In the last 5 years, agriculture has become a focal point of climate change. Nature provides the solutions, and it's time to build the markets. Agroforestry. The integration of fruit, nut, and timber trees with agriculture in row with existing operations. This is a practice that's shown to increase profitability for farmers by 40%. By incorporating agroforestry on a portion of agricultural land in the US, we could remove at least 10% of our carbon emissions every year. And after 20 years of returns below 5%, our farmers are asking for alternatives, like apples, chestnuts, and timber. You see, farmers struggle to get funding because investors see operational, business, and financial challenges. Propagate has solved these challenges, paving the way for investors to unlock huge markets, just like AngelList did for startups and Wonder Capital did for solar. I'm not talking about funding forestry or R&D. I'm talking about owning trees as assets alongside commercial farmland. In fact, investors are loving it. Just this year, investors have made over $300,000 in investments with us, planting over 30,000 trees. These investors will earn great returns while planting the next generation of profitable, regenerative farms. I'll walk you through how we do it. It starts with de-risking projects. So we've made it easy to access the project development tools and economic insights that farmers need to confidently manage a project. We analyze everything: costs and revenues, yield projections, labor assumptions, and much, much more. This software approach to diligence allows us to assess opportunities faster and more accurately than anything that exists in the market today. We take the best of these projects and we group them into funds, diversifying across crop types and geographies. Once an investor participates in a fund, we broker the trees needed to meet investment expectations. Each project is planted and managed by our vetted farm partners to ensure that operations and maintenance are top of class. Lastly, we build contracts with commercial buyers for the harvested produce and timber. And with the revenues, we distribute our investors their share while allowing our farmers to participate in the profits. In just the last 3 months, we've qualified $15 million worth of projects. I know. They'll plant hundreds of thousands of trees, deliver an IRR of 10%, and sequester at least 150,000 tons of carbon. We've cracked the nut on lowering the risk of agroforestry because we focus on technology, not on farm equipment or complex deal structures. Just this year, we've expanded operations to 6 states. And as we plant, the next 50 projects that are already in our pipeline will generate $12 million in revenue. Our business model is to sit right alongside our investors, as well as our farmers, every step of the way. You see, the time for agroforestry is now. This year, General Mills committed 1 million acres to regenerative agriculture by 2030. And Shell plans to invest $300 million in nature-based solutions in the next 3 years. This is why we are working with the Nature Conservancy to bring agroforestry as a conservation option to thousands of farmers across the United States. We are the team to unlock agroforestry investing. We know how to support farmers and deliver sustainable impact. Our executive team has been active in the industry for over 20 years. With Propagate Ventures, farmers become more resilient and investors get to enable the action while helping to solve climate change. Join us, and together we can make money grow on trees.
All right, we're gonna wrap this evening up, but one more time, just real quick, for the entrepreneurs that you guys saw tonight building these great companies.
Behind every demo day pitch, there are people just like you and me. These companies uprooted their lives to move to Denver for 3 months, leaving behind partners, kids, and teams. They showed up for hundreds of meetings. They set lofty goals, and they challenged themselves every week, all while running their companies, living their lives, and making time to support each other.
And yeah. And behind every entrepreneur are all of the people supporting them on their journey, many of whom are in the audience tonight. This is their family and their friends, their mentors, their coaches, and their investors. Thank all of you for your support this last 3 months and well beyond. This program wouldn't be the same without you. And thank you to the staff of the Nature Conservancy at Techstars. You do so much to make this program happen behind the scenes, and we're really grateful. And thanks to all the volunteers that showed up tonight, and yeah, lots of gratitude. And lastly, thanks to our program staff. Really, really grateful for our incredible interns, Carly and Vikram, that were along with us during the journey. Yes, love it. You can't have enough gratitude. We hope you are as inspired tonight as we have been these last 3 months, and we hope that you'll be part of the journey moving forward.
And if you'd like to learn more about the companies you saw tonight, please go to demoday.techstars.com. And to learn more about the great work that the Nature Conservancy is doing, please go to nature.org. I'd like to remind you of and help you set your calendars for next year. We're going to move our program back about a month, so our demo day next year will be on December 3rd, 2020. In just a few minutes here, we'll wrap up, and we're going to have a reception down in the lobby just behind where you walked in. I encourage you to join us. Please seek out the entrepreneurs, learn more about what they're doing, and thank you again so much for joining us tonight.
And we want to wrap up this evening with just a quick note of gratitude to the founders of these great companies. And I think we want to do that by quoting famous environmentalist Paul Hawken, who said it best when he said, "If you look at the science about what is happening on Earth and you aren't pessimistic, then you don't understand data. But if you meet the people who are working to restore this Earth and the lives of the poor, and you aren't optimistic, then you haven't got a pulse." What I see everywhere in the world are ordinary people who are willing to confront despair, power, and incalculable odds in order to restore some semblance of grace, justice, and beauty to the world. So thank you, class of 2019. Now please come join us on stage, you guys. Come on up here. We did it. We did it. I know. All right. All right. Let's go. Roll that way.